Halloween is a season of ghosts, monsters, things that creep in the night. We grow up fearing the supernatural, shadows in the hallway, whispers in an empty room. But tonight, we face something far darker, because the most terrifying horror stories are real. No masks, no legends, just ordinary people living their worst nightmare. Stalked, trapped, watched when they thought they were safe. These aren't tales of spirits. They're warnings about the living. Welcome to When the Dark Watches. True stories of real-life Halloween terror. Chapter 1. The Closet Intruder. She thought she was alone. Dinner was finished, the TV humming. She lay in bed, back to the closet, when she heard it. A soft creak. The closet door moved. What came out was no ghost. It was flesh, intent, and watching. The scariest monsters aren't demons. They're the ones hiding behind the closet door. This story takes place in a quiet American suburb in the early 2000s. A young woman was house-sitting for her best friend's parents. They were out of town for the weekend. She cooked dinner, watched TV, then tucked herself into bed. Unaware that someone had already entered her home through a door they never used, the doggy door. Unbeknown to her, a man had been living in a makeshift tent in the woods behind the house. For weeks he slipped in and out unseen, watching. The dog door, unused, left cracked open, was his entry point. That night, as she lay in bed, she heard the closet door creak. She froze, flipped onto her stomach, pretending to sleep. Then footsteps. He emerged. He hovered over the bed. He gently stroked her hair and brushed her face, then walked away and out the door, silent, without taking anything. She waited until he was gone, called her boyfriend, then the police. When they searched the house, what they found chilled them. Investigators found footprints leading out through the dog door. Outside, in the woods, the man's tent stood. Inside were signs, a headlamp, food wrappers, and a cot. He had built his hiding place and used the closet as his stalking perch. He was arrested and charged with home invasion, stalking, and unlawful residence. But the trauma lingered far beyond the courtroom. Today she still sleeps with the closet door closed. She changed her own locks. She installed motion sensors. Yet sometimes she wakes and wonders, what if he had stayed longer? What if he had taken something, or worse? The house was quiet again, but she wasn't. Her story became a cautionary tale. The dog door, the unused nook, the tent in the woods, they weren't horror movie tropes, they were real. We often think of safety as locked doors and firm rules. But sometimes the worst danger is invisible. The man behind the closet door was neither ghost nor myth. It was a presence, silent, watching. She survived by staying still, silent, breathing just enough not to be noticed. But when the police led her outside, one truth followed her like a shadow. It wasn't the first, and he wouldn't be the last. Because when safety cracks, when home becomes a hunting ground, monsters don't disappear. They move to the next house. In another quiet neighborhood, someone was listening behind the walls. She thought she was losing her mind. Food disappeared. Lights flickered. The closet door, always a little open. One night she followed the sound, led not to a ghost but a man, living in her wall. Chapter 2. The Man in the Wall. In the spring of 2021 in Seattle, a woman began noticing odd things in her home. Food gone from the fridge, music in the middle of the night, lights changing. The closet door, she realized, had been pushed open when she was sleeping. One night, hearing footsteps above the drop ceiling in the hallway, she found herself following the noise. She opened the closet, then a door behind it, an old crawl space behind the drywall. And inside, a man. Police responding to the call found not just the man, but a fully furnished hideout, bedding food wrappers, notebooks, mapping her routines and her roommate's movements. Authorities said he had lived there for weeks, maybe months, waiting for the right moment. The man allegedly followed her schedule, tracked her habits, and hid within the very walls she walked past each day. When police arrived, they found the man startled. His presence behind the wall went beyond trespassing. This was stalking on a terrifyingly intimate level. He was arrested and charged with burglary and unlawful residence. But for the woman, the violation was deeper than the charges. She moved out. She changed apartments. But the memory stayed. The breathless feeling of something living inside her home, hidden in drywall. What if he was still there? What if he returned? Her sanctuary had been infiltrated. Experts say these hidden intruder cases are rare, but growing with the low visibility access homes provide. Attics, crawl spaces, walls. The monster hides where you least expect it. We lock our doors, install cameras, but sometimes the threat is inside the skin of our home, inside its nooks, its hidden corridors. The man in the wall didn't break in with a crash. He crept, he stayed. And the only thing scarier than a break-in is the one you never saw. You see, a home should protect you. Walls should shelter you. But sometimes those walls hide secrets, and someone hides inside them, watching, waiting, learning you. And when they finally crawl out, the world never feels the same again. Yet some horrors don't crawl from the dark. They introduce themselves. A man moved into his dream home, and soon discovered someone else believed it belonged to them too. Chapter 3. They heard noises above their heads for years, faint scrape, a whisper in the night. But they credited it to rats, until they opened the attic and found a man. Living in their walls, hiding within inches. The terror above their bedroom was very real. This is terror in the attic. In 1986, in Pepperell, Massachusetts, the Bowen family heard occasional footsteps in the attic. Their daughter Tina said she saw his face in the ceiling hatch. They dismissed it, until, months later, father opened his daughter's closet to find a man, face painted, hair spiked, covered in ketchup and mayonnaise, wielding a hatchet. The intruder, Daniel LaPlante, had lived inside the walls and attic space for over a year. He collected weapons and lurked beside the family while they slept. The home invasion wasn't a single moment, it was a long, silent siege. When the father confronted him in the closet, LaPlante attacked. He was arrested and later convicted for multiple murders, but the psychological impact on the Bowens lasted far beyond the courtroom. Families seldom think of the attic like a second bedroom for strangers. They dismiss the noises, they ignore the shadows. Yet that creak above your head could be stepping boots. The lesson: trust your instincts. The house is not always safe. Tonight you heard 3 stories. No ghosts, no curses. It's just human monsters hiding in closets, behind walls, watching from the dark. As you turn off the lights tonight, ask yourself one thing. Are you truly alone? Lock your doors. Listen carefully to the quiet. Because sometimes, the scariest things on Halloween are the ones already inside. Happy Halloween. Remember to sleep with the lights on.